When I was a kid, I thought movies just came from air. I thought they just appeared.
I didn't know who made them. I didn't understand. I just thought the actors were there and somehow these things were put together.
The point that I realized someone was making the movies came a little later. I remember being shocked the first time I ever walked on a movie set and realized that they weren't doing the whole movie from beginning to end. Different setups, different shots, different angles.
I was a kid who came from a working-class family where there were no books in the house. I started to try to make my own movies. I didn't have much money, so I couldn't buy a camera, even a still camera, so I drew pictures. And I began to understand that somebody has to become the person who says, okay, this young man stands on the left of frame.
What do you think?
And I gotta make sure the focus is on you and it goes off of her.
Look at my shoes, aren't they great?
And I began to understand how pictures move, but also framing. Is the image a wide image with 3 or 4 people in the frame? And it goes on like you have to design it this way because you're telling the story visually.
I think that studying film is so crucial for students today because movies speak everybody's language. It's universal.
I'm happy again.
A main point of the story movies is to have students appreciate film as an art form, to also learn how to read a movie, not just sit there and passively watch it.
The Story of Movies was created by the Film Foundation in partnership with IBM and Turner Classic Movies. It's so well organized. The teaching elements are incorporated into each of the lessons.
And it's available for free for middle schools all around the country.
You ready? Uh-huh. Let her go.
Following a curriculum standard is very important for teachers to do, and there's a lot of pressure for teachers to meet all of the requirements in your state. Story of Movies provides a way to meet your core curriculum standards, especially in the terms of visual learning.
I'm Nicole, and we're in the Bloomfield Middle School in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and we studied the stories of movies here. In To Kill a Mockingbird, there was the one scene where Atticus put Scout to bed and he walks out.
Good night, Scout.
And Scout starts talking about her mom.
Was Mama pretty?
And then, as they're having the sentimental moment, they come out of the window, out of the kid's world, and you see Atticus. And he's sitting on the bench, and he has his one arm up, and you can tell he's just missing his wife. When you see that he does have feelings and that he's lonely.
And he has his arm like around the bench so that the audience thinks the mom should be here, but she isn't. I'm Herschel Marable. I'm from Bloomfield, New Jersey, and last year we did a program called The Story of Movies, and we studied To Kill a Mockingbird.
In The Story of Movies, the reason the 3 films, The Day the Earth Stood Still and To Kill a Mockingbird and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, were chosen because as the stories are seen through the eyes of kids, the story points that are unfolding before us have an effect on those kids.
Each one deals with a certain cultural and social issue. It places the context of the story is a certain historical period, which is important for younger people to be exposed to for the first time in a very powerful way. Also, there are young people in the films. When I saw The Day the Earth Stood Still, I was the boy's age, and communication to a younger person is more immediate if they could identify with a young person in the film.
The Story of Movies is an opportunity to let kids understand exactly how movies are made. The pieces all have to fit together, or if they don't, then the movie doesn't work.
I'm sorry, Dave. This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I think you should go and try to look at the movie. Just look at it and see how it affects you.
While I'm watching the movie, in my subconscious, I'm like, ooh, that's really good lighting. It tells a lot about it. But I don't really think that. I just kind of know it in my mind.
It's the way the actor was directed, the lighting, the use of music. All these things affect the image and affect the language that is speaking to you.
If you're watching a horror movie and you put it on mute, it's basically dull. You don't feel anything. The sound editor, which puts all the specific sounds together, you can feel what's going on, not only by what you see, but what you hear.
In other words, what is creating my emotional reaction to what's up there on the screen? Technically, how it's created.
The reason why I loved this so much is that concepts that in the past, some of these literary terms, foreshadowing, symbolism, allusion, were so difficult for the students to grasp. But to point to it onto a screen and dissect it and understand it in that sense made everything come clear for them.
I was convinced that my students were understanding it when throughout the curriculum, students would come into my class and say to me, I went to a movie last night and guess what they did? And they would use a term, like, and this music was foreshadowing. They were actually taking the time to look at other films differently.
Teachers can get this program by logging on to www.storyofmovies.org.
It's full of ideas, including lesson plans, chat room, background information.
There is something that makes it very palpable and very real and very visceral when a story is told on film and it's about you now and it reflects your society, good, bad, or indifferent. That keeps it alive.
Either I'm dead right or I'm crazy.
I think Marty Scorsese and others are putting the time into the story of movies because movies play such a big part in voicing what our society is like today.
We do not pretend to have achieved perfection, but we do have a system, and it works.
We all had a renewed sense of energy going into the classroom. It wasn't the same old curriculum.
It was informative and educational, but it was fun at the same time.
I would love to teach the story of movies again.
That's all right. I just wanted to find out whether you still had faces.
Kids should watch the story of movies because I'm telling you to. You got that? Okay.
Let's get started.
Turner Classic Movies supports the Film Foundation and the Story of Movies. Sign up for your school at www.storyofmovies.org.